Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 586 based on novel. So let's start. In the backyard of the mansion of the Mistress of Endless Fire Territory, on a wide square at this time, several girls and Xiao Yang were surrounded together. They all looked at Xiao Yang with a strange expression. Nothing to talk about. Brother Xiao Yang, is this? The silence lasted for a while, and Zuna was the first to break the peace, because after Xiao Yang and Yun Qi returned from Paradise Lost, there was a woman of unknown origin beside them. The strangest thing is that this woman's body clearly does not have any fluctuations in vindictiveness, but the aura released from her delicate body vaguely makes everyone present feel an unwarranted pressure. That kind of coercion is more like originating from the depths of the soul. A touch of fear continued to grow and spread, but the woman kept falling into a coma. Xiao Yang stood in a corner with a solemn expression, watching the changes in Nanan's body, and then his eyes suddenly raised his head, through the endless void, watching the evil crack above the sky. Today's evil cracks have completely covered the brilliance of the sun, and the entire Dacian world is shrouded in a dim aura of death, and it seems that there is not much time left for the Dacian world. That is the space where the three origins of heaven, earth and human are merged, and it is also where the first holy flame is. Once the opponent is completely stepped into the fighting god, this world will become lifeless. Moreover, Xiao Yang also knew that with the passage of time, that Guy's power had become unprecedentedly terrifying. Even if he hadn't completely stepped into that realm, the fluctuations emanating along the way surpassed all quasi-god rank powerhouses. In the Great Thousand Worlds, the panic and despair in the minds of countless creatures continued to expand. Obviously, when they faced the pressure of the sovereign Do God, they were as small as ants and could not do anything. A deep sense of powerlessness continued to spread in their minds, leaving them with no fighting spirit, just like a crippled person who could only look up at the sky, waiting for the doomsday to come. Her status is a bit special. Help me to be optimistic about her. I must go to this battle. After a long time, Xiao Yang only spoke when he saw that countless figures were gradually gathering in the sky. This battle is a must for protection. Since this situation has come, let's accompany you. The big deal is death. Facing Xiao Yang's firm expression, the four girls did not show any signs of hesitation. Now that the disaster is imminent, everyone in the Great Thousand World is responsible, because if this battle is defeated, the entire Great Thousand World will cease to exist, so it is better to give it a try. Yun Qi, she will ask you. As if leaving some kind of warning, Xiao Yang took the four daughters to cut through the sky, and suddenly moved towards the edge of the crack above the sky. This battle will be the last battle, and it will also be the most difficult battle. Hey, girl, I'm afraid you are the only one who doesn't know about these things. But how can I say such a thing? At this moment, Yun Qi, looking at the unconscious Nan in front of her, also whispered helplessly. Nanan's life experience is related to the first artifact, the first holy flame, but Yun Qi doesn't know what to do. And even if he knew how to do it, for the safety of the world, to sacrifice a little girl in vain was not a crime. All these choices, I am afraid, also need to look at Nan. For a time, the entire mistress's mansion was suddenly filled with some kind of ancient flame world. It seemed that Xiao Yang deliberately left it behind to protect Nan, because some kind of guidance from the depths of Xiao Yang's soul seemed to warn Xiao Yang to stay forever. Protecting the other party is like having an agreement. However, Nan was awakening little by little, and with the awakening, those dusty and distant memories and those obscure things also appeared little by little in the depths of her soul. As time passed, she remembered that she was part of the first holy flame and the first artifact. Bang bang bang. At the same time, above the incomparably dark sky of the Endless Fire Territory, at this time, there were almost countless high-level leaders in the entire Great Thousand World gathered. To call you here today, presumably everyone is aware of the seriousness of the current situation. Not long after, there was a vast amount of divine power spreading in the evil cracks in the distance. The Holy King also spoke slowly, and his voice was full of resolute fluctuations. Obviously, at this stage, we must go all out before we can have a line. Vitality. I wonder if Alliance leader Xiao succeeded. The conversation of the crowd went quite smoothly, but after a short while, an uncoordinated voice from the crowd broke the silence. It's almost. Now everything in Paradise Lost has been completely destroyed by that guy. The void distorted slightly, and then Xiao Yang and the four daughters slowly arrived, and they opened their mouths as soon as they appeared. At this time, there is no need to hide and tuck them. As soon as Xiao Yang's voice fell, everyone shook their heads helplessly, and there was more helplessness in their pupils everyone, Let's do it, gather all the creatures in the world to strike with all their strength. Whether Daqian's safety is successful or not depends on this blow. After a while, Xiao Tianming's clan lines surged between his eyebrows, and all the power of demigods and reincarnation in his body boiled completely, tilting out like a river overturning the sea. Let me come. While speaking, the flame god cauldron in Xiao Yang's hands quietly poured out, and then stood above the void, absorbing the profound power of countless creatures, gathering some kind of terrifying offensive that could kill a god. We bring all our strength to you, you must win. At this moment, looking at Xiao Yang with such a crazy appearance, countless creatures were full of tears, and then the blood in their bodies rolled, and the entire world, in countless regions, was a firefly rising slowly, and then chased after the stars. Moon-like influx into the flame god cauldron. In an instant, the size of the flame god cauldron suddenly swelled, and in just a short time it expanded to a size of 10,000 feet. This blow brings together the thoughts of hundreds of millions of beings in the world. Xiao Yang's body was in the air, the veins on his palm burst out, his pupils were filled with endless madness and bloodshots, and then, under the gaze of countless creatures, he suddenly jumped into the sky, slapped him heavily with his palm, and the void pressed and twisted, a burst of dazzling divine power, along with the flame god cauldron, completely crashed into the evil crack. The next moment, the stars flickered, and countless different energy ripples rippled open, and the whole world was filled with a sense of brokenness and laxity. Countless people held their breath and stared at the crack. What was the result of this blow? Destroy me. In the face of Ren Yuanzi's winning attitude, Xiao Yang's expression was solemn, and he exerted his strength to the extreme. The dazzling flame god cauldron was like a divine object that opened up the world. Just after absorbing the power of countless living beings, it transformed into a touch of unyielding will, and suddenly jumped into the evil crack and blasted towards the core of the Buddha realm. The hot and sacred flame god cauldron was extremely dazzling in Ren Yuanzi's pitch-black pupils at this time, but even in the face of such a devastating attack, Ren Yuanzi in the altar did not. A sinister smile leaked out. Boom. In an instant, this terrifying offensive, with an indescribable chilling aura, completely drowned the entire evil crack in the eyes of countless thousands of world beings looking forward to it, and even the land of the Buddha world behind him. At this moment, it is also completely wrapped by it, and a gorgeous sea of flames completely replaces all the evil forces around the Buddha realm. The divine breath is like a torrent, mercilessly cleaning everything in the Buddha world, and even Yuanzi, who is in the altar of the fusion of the three elements, smells an extreme unease. In an instant, a rare smile leaked from the faces of countless creatures in the great thousand world. Xiao Yang's strongest blow that surpassed the heavens and the earth seemed to be able to severely damage the human beings. Once the fusion of the other party can be prevented, then the great thousand world will have a chance to survive. Countless eyes penetrated through the void, as if staring directly at the Buddha realm beyond the evil crack. At this time, in the Buddha realm area, countless mottled and sacred energy flames have completely transformed this place into a world of furnaces. There are countless dark mists in the void quickly evaporated by it, but the three groups of energy on the altar of different colors merged. The speed was even brighter, as if it was not affected by Xiao Yang's attack at all. Can't win. With the all-out attack of the creatures in the world, the Nan Nan in the mistress's mansion has already awakened, and then shook her head slightly, as if she had predicted the next situation. Sister Yunqi, this world is good and evil, beautiful and ugly. Is it really worth your efforts to protect it? Maybe let that guy destroy this world and reshape another world that is only beautiful, in that case. Nan Nan stared at Yunqi in a trance. Where there is light, there will be darkness. This world is beautiful, too beautiful to describe in words. In order to protect it, even if we sacrifice our lives for it, we will not hesitate. With Yunqi's opening, Nan Nan seemed to be able to feel some changes in the other party's mind, and immediately determined some missions in the depths of his soul. Boom. At the same time, just at the moment when Xiao Yang's attack was about to win, in the evil cracks above the sky, there were suddenly dark coffins that appeared out of thin air at the end of the Yangshan Cauldron's attack. The power of the billions of souls gathered in the Flame God Cauldron, when it hit those evil coffins, was like a breeze blowing across the face, and completely disappeared above the coffins without the slightest effect. Such a strange feeling, just like the power of destruction in the Flame God Cauldron was easily and completely absorbed by those coffins. At this moment, Xiao Yang's brows were slightly wrinkled. This attack brought together all the power of the entire Great Thousand World. Such attacks did not cause any harm to Ren Yuanzi. What is even more strange is that those who flickered out of thin air. The pitch-black coffin, from above, some auras that Xiao Yang was familiar with, also slowly overflowed like a resurrection from the dead. How can it be? At this moment, the minds of countless creatures were blank, and some raised their heads in disbelief, staring at the dim coffins, from which they could smell an extreme unease. With the appearance of those coffins, the originally dark sky was now covered by layers of thick blood-colored clouds, and the faint sunlight passed through the clouds, making the whole world look eerie, and a long-lost depression filled my heart. The suffocating energy continued to pour out from the coffins and the ends of the evil cracks, covering every inch of space in the world. The land, like the birth of some kind of unparalleled monster, the doomsday collapsed. Susu. No matter how you struggle, you can't win against this god. The fusion of this will take some time. Next, please enjoy a prosperous world. Ren Yuan's mad and arrogant voice resounded through Dakian, shaking the soul of every living being. At this moment, the void in the evil fissure suddenly changed drastically, and then a torrent of milky white energy descended from the sky like a waterfall, and then all of them tilted into the coffins. A gloomy aura gradually emerged from the coffins and rose out. Bang! Crack! An earth-shattering sound continued to sound from the heavens and the earth, and then the lids of the coffins of unknown origin were slowly opened, and a scene of doomsday that he would never forget for his entire life occupied the pupils and souls of thousands of souls. In an instant, as the lid of the coffin was slowly opened, silhouettes that were familiar to the strong people present kept pouring out. This is the first generation of poison gods, the first generation of demon gods. You won't believe these 5 kizomba dance moments. Her beauty. In the crowd, Xiao Yixian and Su Shuiying had an unbelievable look on their pretty faces at the same time and then looked at the 2 expressionless figures like puppets above the clouds in the sky, and lost their voice. The Demon Realm Poison God Palace, the founder of the Demon God Palace, the strength of the 2 of them has already reached the peak level of the 9 reincarnation rank, and the magic and poison art under their control are even more unique in the world. No. Not possible. Didn't the first generation of demon gods and poison gods perish in ancient times? How is it possible to reappear in front of us in this way? The Golden Dragon King's face gradually became serious, and then he said with some difficulty, Devil God, Poison God, those are the powerhouses who control the supreme magic power and poison power. Although their strength has not stepped into the demigod rank, once these 2 unparalleled powerhouses make a move, this world will definitely be destroyed, because there are not many souls able to resist their attacks. More than that, there are also those powerhouses who are above everything, the 10-color swallowing python, the king of beasts, the of flowers, the of moon, and the Emperor Xiao Yan, the patriarch Xiao Yuntian. And before everyone came back to their senses, Xiao Yang's voice was like a of death, echoing in the ears of countless powerhouses. Looking up, the great powers of heaven and earth, who have long been submerged in the long river of history, are slowly crawling out of the coffin at this moment. They are strange and expressionless, just like some kind of new life. But the only thing that is the same is that their pupils are full of crazy killing intent. Ha ha ha. This great gift of this god, you are still satisfied. The shadow of death completely shrouded DHN, and at this moment, apart from the sound of wind and rain, it seemed that even his breathing became frozen. This is where Ren Yuanzi relies on. You can't fight this god. Ren Yuanzi's laughter slowly poured out from the evil crack, and then the cold voice like death spread through thousands of people, causing countless creatures to turn pale, and even in the depths of their souls, a touch of fear continued to breed, enlarge. Why are these ancient powerhouses reborn? At this moment, Yun and Kaylin had some kind of fiery pulsation between their eyebrows, which seemed to be quite puzzled, but looking at the flower god and the 10-colored sky-swallowing python standing at the end of the world in front of them, the 2 women still sniffed through them. There was a moving wave. That kind of fluctuation is the same source. In other words, these ancient powerhouses in front of them are not replicas, but are the original bodies that possess the power of the origin of the supreme powerhouses of all dynasty. This scene is simply appalling. Among the powerhouses in front of them, with the exception of Xiao Yuntian and Xiao Tianyuan, most of the others are at the demigod level, at the pinnacle level of the 9th reincarnation level. It's not as good as a person. These creatures are indeed the real powerhouses of all dynasties. It's just that although they are resurrected now, they are not angry at all, but more like puppets. The most important thing is that their power has long since changed. Compare. In the pupils of the Holy King, an ugly color finally emerged. Obviously, the ending of this moment was something he never expected. For a time, the fluctuation of the 3 sources after the evil crack became stronger and stronger, and a terrible coercion that surpassed the heavens continued to spread, not to mention the supreme powerhouses of all dynasties who stood on the edge of the evil crack like a guardian out of thin air. In an instant, countless creatures in the Great Thousand World raised their heads in astonishment, looking at this scene in disbelief. Could this be the end of Great Thousand? This? Below the endless fire territory, Yun Qi, who was in the ancient flame world, shrank his beautiful eyes tightly, and seemed to see some kind of doomsday scene that he would never forget, and he couldn't come back to his senses for a long time. 10-colored swallowing python, king of beasts, flower god, moon god, these are all powerhouses at the peak of the demigod level, not to mention the 2 unparalleled powerhouses in the Xiao clan. It seems that at this moment, all the hopes of the Great Thousand World have been completely stifled and destroyed, and I am afraid it is only a matter of time. The 3 Yuanzi of heaven and earth was transformed by the first holy flame, and Xuandi is very ambitious. But you never knew that in Paradise Lost, in addition to the elixir of divine order, divine nature, and divine source, there is also a transcendence. The magic of magic. It's called the body of nothingness. Although it does not have 2 earth-shattering attack and defense power, having it, in a sense, is enough to stand in an invincible position, because it can ignore all the constraints of the rules, and can travel through time and space at will without being caught by anyone. Discovering, the resurrection of these dead people is probably the evil fighting skills derived from his collection of supreme divine techniques. Nan Nan shook his head, as if he did not expect Ren Yuanzi to be so smart, to use this seemingly simple and useless magical technique so well. Nan Nan. You were born because of the power of the first divine weapon and the first holy flame. I implore you, save this messy world. I can give my body, my soul, and let you live forever. The next moment, Yun Qi suddenly knelt down on the ground with his knees, tears welling in his beautiful eyes, and his voice became choked up, as if this was the only thing he could do at the moment. I know, but why didn't he take me? He should know. Under the apocalypse, only me can save this world. Looking at such a charming Yun Qi gesture, Nan Nan shook her head, and a faint smile suddenly appeared in her beautiful eyes. Nan, we have an agreement. I will definitely protect you forever. In the memory, scenes of familiar scenes continue to pour out from the depths of the boundless soul. Those memories are like some kind of dusty hole picture, a little bit evoking all the memories of Nan Nan. Brother Yuan Tian, you are really stubborn. After finishing speaking, Nanan's body slowly vacated the air, and a tinge of cyan energy and milky white flames slowly hovered in her beautiful eyes. The whole person looked very strange and sacred. There is no time. In the high sky, countless powerhouses were uneasy, and then the holy angel behind Qing Yuan trembled slightly, and an unease from the depths of the soul was continuously transmitted. Gather all the holy flames. I want to try. At this moment, the holy king seemed to have made up his mind and spoke resolutely. It's useless, holy flames without divine nature. Even if they gather 35 holy flames, they can't shake him. Xiao Yang shook his head. But we can't just watch this world like this. The holy king sighed, as if he had aged countless years in an instant. Shrine. Divine power. Demon. Burning. Buzz. At the moment when everyone was so helpless, Xiao Yang's body slowly rose, and all the power in his body seemed to ignite in an instant, and a brilliant color like an explosion of fireworks quickly poured into the evil crack. This blow, carrying the unyielding divine might of heaven and earth, just emerged and crossed the interception of many guardians out of thin air, attacking the divine shadow in the altar of evil cracks abruptly bang. A huge sound that swayed the heart and soul sounded from the evil crack without warning, and then one after another earth-shattering destructive energy turned into thick and hot clouds, constantly gushing from the evil crack. Ha ha ha. This asterisk has been promoted to the asterisk of fighting. You wait for the ants. Just when everyone had a fluke in their hearts, a shocking laughter suddenly came out from the sky, and then there was a touch of respect in the eyes of countless powerhouses of all dynasties, and they cast their eyes into the sky together. In the sky at this time, there is a glorious shadow that will never fall, stepping on the thick clouds step by step, as if the ruler of this world. It still doesn't work. At this moment, Xiao Yang's body slowly fell from the sky, as if all the anger in his body had been exhausted, and he was dying. Brother Xiao Yang. For a time, the bodies of the 4 mistresses surged and quickly ignored Xiao Yang's body, but at the moment when they were about to come into contact with Xiao Yang, a hot and warm aura appeared first, and then wrapped Xiao Yang's body stand up. In a trance, the 4 women's hearts swayed, as if in the light group in front of them, there was an incomparable god's mansion. Cough cough. You still found out. Xiao Yang's miserable face also burst into a helpless smile as his body was caught by Nan Nan. Xiao Yang is still Xiao Yang, but since the moment Paradise Lost came out, Yuan Tian's memories flowed into Xiao Yang's mind along the divine palace in his body. In Paradise Lost, Yuan Tian once made an agreement with Nan Nan, guardian, a guardian agreement for eternity and eternity. That was Yuan Tian's guilt for Nan Nan. This has been promoted to fighting God. How can you and other ants resist this God? This is planning for eternity, for today's event. Above the dim sky of Dacian world, clouds of blood and blood continued to rise and fall, and there was even a disturbing voice spreading out. Strength. Below, Xiao Yang, who tried his best to stop Ren Yuanzi but failed to return, was picked up by Nan Nan on his way down, but Ren Yuanzi, who was standing on the sky, didn't care at all, instead, on the handsome face all sarcastic. Now the strongest person in the world, Xiao Yang, has already looked like this. It seems that there is no human being in this world that can resist him. Xiao Yang, Holy King, Xiao Tianming, the three of you are now the leaders of the great thousand worlds, not to mention that this God will not give you a chance. Do you choose to surrender to me or to die? Ren Yuanzi was arrogant, with a detached attitude of contempt for all living beings, and sneered. It seems that in his eyes, the many peak powerhouses in front of him are as fragile as ants. He really succeeded. In an instant, with Ren Yuanzi's vast voice wandering between heaven and earth, the bodies and souls of countless creatures were shaken violently, as if an invisible pressure descended from the sky, destroying their last hope little by little, letting them I couldn't help but bow down and bow down. That kind of fluctuation is by no means comparable to the quasi-god rank. It is the folded divine might of the fighting powerhouse. Battle god rank. How did he do it? Feeling the unstoppable divine might, everyone's inner unease rapidly increased, and even their voices became choked up. The sixth holy flame in the body of the realm master Tian Yuanzi in the center of the human world, the Jiutian Jishenyan, the 14th holy flame of the Soul Clan chief Han Tianhao, the eternal nightmare flame, and the origin of the evil eyes of Yuanzi, the head of the extraterritorial world. Power. This guy is not a mysterious place at all, he is clearly one of the three Yuan Yuanzi. Beside the crowd, an indignant figure rose out of thin air, and then his eyes were filled with endless unwillingness and resentment, seemingly revealing the identity of the latter. Even if you wait to know the identity of this god, so what? Xuandi is dead, and the remaining dual power of heaven and earth has been integrated into my body. I am the of the heavens and the world. Ha ha ha. Even if Yun Qi completely revealed the powerful relationship among them, Ren Yuanzi did not have the slightest fear, because now he is already in an invincible position, and there seems to be no power in this world that can disobey him. For a time, Ren Yuanzi stepped on the top of the sky, and there seemed to be a complex black moon looming on the palm of his hand. The black moon was covered with endless evil eyes. Looking at it slightly, the power aura in it seemed to be the same as that of Xiao Yang's chest. It's the same as above. At his feet, Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Yuntian, and the supreme powerhouses of the ancient times were all quietly crawling, as if waiting for Ren Yuanzi's order. It will be completely destroyed. This guy seems to be waiting for something. Two sisters-in-law. With the stalemate on the scene, the king of beasts in the crowd suddenly felt a sense, and then quickly approached Yunyun and Kailin. Ren Yuanzi can clearly obliterate everything now, but the latter is indifferent. As if waiting for something. The three of them are the inheritance of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python, the god of flowers, and the king of all beasts. What they know and feel is naturally much more sensitive than others. The king of all beasts, the of flowers, and the 10-colored swallowing python. These ancient supreme beings have at least surpassed the quasi-god rank and reached the battle rank. Now they are resurrected from the dead, but they still lack the slightest bit of divinity. Fluctuations. I suspect. Ren Yuanzi is the master of the ancient battlefield. The resurrection of these gods and the decline in strength may have something to do with him. Following the reminder of the king of beasts, Yunyun nodded slightly, and then said what was in her heart. The body of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python above seems to convey an extreme anger and unwillingness. The source is Ren Yuanzi. Me too. Same. The three nodded, and then the power in the body slowly surged, as if there was another way. On the other side, the height of the endless fire territory is nearly a kilometer from the ground. After Xiao Yang failed to hit the ground, he fell straight to the ground. With the movement just now, everyone else also stopped to rescue and focused all their attention on Ren Yuanzi. This guy is the biggest threat in the world today. Choose destruction, or surrender. This deadly situation did not last long, and then Ren Yuanzi slowly moved his pace, stepping on the void out of thin air, on the palm of the white jade, dragging a black moon full of evil eyes. The black moon, the various evil patterns on it are one after another, which is disgusting. In my vast world, there is no coward who is greedy for life and fears death. If you want to completely gather Dakian, I'm afraid it will take a lot of pain. The majestic divine body of the Holy King and Xiao Tianming's harsh voice echoed in the world, and they did not disappear for a long time. Obviously, their practices and actions need not be repeated. Really? If that's the case, then this world doesn't need to exist anymore. Everyone, let's do it. Let this group of ants see the power of the divine palace. Facing the leading righteous actions of the two holy kings, Ren Yuanzi seemed to have already sensed it, and smiled faintly at the supreme powerhouse behind him, and then the unparalleled powerhouses rushed out like puppets who received orders. Crazy. He swept away at the holy king and others. In an instant, the entire world changed color, the wind was blowing, and countless dazzling energies swept across the sky, blasting away at the peak powerhouse of the Great Thousand Alliance army. The Holy King and Xiao Xiaoming shot at the same time, directly igniting the fire of life, and took the lead in stopping Xiao Tianyuan and Xiao Yuntian. Secondly, the super powerhouses such as the Poison God, the Flower God, and the 10-colored sky-swallowing python were intercepted by their inheritors. In the entire void, the blood was dyed red, and the smell of blood and the righteous and awe-inspiring death continued to emerge between the heavens and the earth. At this moment, the flames of war are raging, and the whole world seems to be boiling, but only Ren Yuanzi and Xiao Yang below, their expressions have changed strangely. Their identities, at this moment, are like hunters and prey. Silly girl, you shouldn't have come. After all, this is a matter of our great world, and I don't want to involve you. Xiao Yang fell down extremely fast, feeling the refreshing fragrance around him, and sighed faintly immediately. But here I am. Facing Xiao Yang's sigh, Nan Nan looked at Xiao Yang with a firm expression. She knew that Xiao Yang at this time was no different from a mortal. If it was delayed like this, the consequences would be disastrous. But all of this is her own principle. The next moment, Nanan's slender arms exerted a slight force, directly hugging Xiao Yang in an endangered state like a princess hug. The 3,000 green silk swayed slightly, the skin of the two was close, and a fragrance unique to a girl made Xiao Yang intoxicated. That smell is more like the source of power that Xiao Yang has been searching for a long time without success. Just like divinity, it is as fascinating as stepping into the key to the ***** of war. You. Feeling this extremely attractive divine power, Xiao Yang's voice actually became choked up. Although it has been known for a long time that Nan Nan seems to be the key to dealing with Ren Yuanzi, but who would have thought that Nan Nan was actually transformed by divinity, and turned out to be the key to impacting Doshan? Looking at Xiao Yang's astonished appearance, there was a burst of pride on his pretty face, and then he looked at Xiao Yang's face with some obsession. Now he can clearly feel that just now, Xiao Yang was trying to prevent the smooth transformation of Yuan Yuanzi. The achievement of Doshan has already tilted all the power out of his body. Now Xiao Yang's meridians have been cut off, his qi and blood are in chaos, and he is no different from a cripple. Even the evil eyes in his chest have taken advantage of the time just now, to completely erode the limbs and bones in Xiao Yang's body. Such a miserable appearance. I am afraid that even if the genius doctor is alive, he will be helpless. I don't want you to do that, we owe you enough, there must be other ways. Xiao Yang reluctantly cheered up and tried his best to make his complexion look better, but after looking at Shi on Nan Nan's beautiful face, he realized that these were all helpless actions. It seems that from the moment she wakes up, from the moment she leaps into the sky, all this has already been doomed. She is divinity and is the key to attacking the god of war. No matter how the ending changes, her ending and her destiny are still unshakable. Yes. Whether it's Big Brother Yuan Tian or Big Brother Xiao Yang, they owe me too much. But, I am willing. I am willing to give my all for the people I hold dear. Everything in Paradise Lost, and everything in the world, thank you for making my life so wonderful. I would like to be your sharp blade and defend this beautiful world. At this moment, Nan Nan's charming face was full of pride, and a sly smile appeared on the corner of her lips. She did not give Xiao Yang any chance to struggle. His neck was slightly tilted down close to Xiao Yang's face, and he felt the heat exhaling from Xiao Yang's nose and mouth at close range. After the blink of an eye, Nanan's jade mouth opened slightly, and the soft corners of her lips bit on Xiao Yang's face. And go! At this moment, time stopped abruptly, and Xiao Yang's eyes began to become moist. I thought that he had gone through so many winds and waves, and his tears had dried up, but who would have thought that in front of such a big right and wrong, there is actually another person, a weak woman with no strength to hold a chicken. The bodies of the two were instantly frozen in the air, but there was no fear on Nanan's pretty face, but a triumphant smile. Brother Xiao Yang, I'll leave the rest to you. Yu Qingyan lingered in Xiao Yang's ear for the last time, and immediately the shrine inside the latter's body rolled over completely, and the blurred scenes became clearer. In Paradise Lost, Yuan Tian and Xuandi were born gods, and they lived in it for generations to protect the sacred objects, but in the long years, Xuandi gradually developed a different heart. Fortunately, Yuan Tian secretly learned the first holy flame and the first artifact. Nuns were conceived. Then the two fighting gods fought. Xuandi was seriously injured and divided into 3 parts. After that, he escaped from Paradise Lost. Yuan Tian's number was exhausted, so he had no choice but to seal the memories of Nanan's power and scattered them. With the 9th reincarnation, I tried to disintegrate the ancient conspiracy of Xuandi. As for the so-called ancient battlefield, it was originally the habitat of those gods such as the flower gods and moon gods, but then Motoko used evil magic techniques to kill them in secret. Go, so far Dakian has no fighting gods. Senior, Nan, this world will be protected by me personally. God Festival, Fighting God Road. Boom. In an instant, there were countless heaven and earth energies between the heavens and the earth, and with Xiao Yang as the center, they began to gather crazily. Nan's delicate body ignited little by little, melted, and then poured into Xiao Yang's chest, paws, and flesh and blood. With the appearance of this scene, Xiao Yang could clearly feel that his dying body actually recovered in an instant. The power of the evil eye in the body was even disintegrated by the divine nature in an instant, and there was a bundle of indescribable terrifying power in the body. Is mobilizing all the power in his body, hitting some kind of ethereal shackles. That's Battle God rank. On the other side, in the high altitude of the Endless Fire territory, the battle between the many peak powerhouses in the Great Thousand World and the army under Ren Yuanzi has entered a white-hot stage. The army formed by those revived supreme powerhouses completely disintegrated with an overwhelming advantage. After the offensive of the Great Thousand Coalition army, it seemed that everything was doomed. Holy King, Xiao Tianming and other peak powerhouses raised their heads with difficulty, their faces were sad, and their faces were full of unsightly meanings. Is this piece of the world that has survived to this day is its doomsday? However, just when there was an idea in his heart, an ancient humming sound was transmitted from Xiao Yang's position below, causing everyone's attention to be suddenly diverted. As soon as the buzzing sound appeared, it was like some kind of ancient divine might, which actually slowed down the movements of those resurrected supreme beings. There was even a faint trace of fiery traces in their silent pupils, and they turned their heads to look at Xiao Yang. In the pupils, there was a touch of extreme longing, as if there was something in Xiao Yang's body that had a fatal guiding force for them at this time. Above the sky, Ren Yuanzi looked at Xiao Yang, who looked like this. The ridicule on his face disappeared instantly, replaced by a smug smile. It seems that he led the Resurrection Legion out in order to make Nan completely sacrifice, because he knows that Nan still has a part of its own origin in the body. Even in his entire life, he can't find Nan, and he can't get back the last trace of his original power. Want to attack the fighting **** under the eyes of this god? It's too whimsical. Stop him for me. Ren Yuanzi's mad voice sounded slowly, and then he didn't know whether it was because of extreme fear or ecstasy, but it seemed particularly gloomy in the eyes of ordinary people. The voice just fell, and there were endless scarlet air rushing between heaven and earth, and there were even countless piercing shadows, one after another, fighting towards Xiao Yang's position. The creatures in front of him were completely engulfed by him and turned into nothingness. This scene seemed very tragic. Sure enough, because of that evil magic technique, they don't have the slightest bit of divinity in their bodies. At this moment, Yun Qi shook his head. That special buzzing sound seemed to contain an extremely special fluctuation. When it was passed on, the fear and pressure brought by Ren Yuanzi and countless resurrected supreme beings were actually offset by it, as if never appeared in general. As the many resurrected supremes got closer and closer to Xiao Yang, some ancient fluctuations that had been silent for thousands of years in their bodies turned out to be like resurrected from the dead, slowly waking up. Bring me back. At the same time, the expression of Ren Yuanzi, who was entrenched in the sky, changed, and then the divine power surged in his body, which turned out to call those resurrected supremes back to him. After a while, Ren Yuanzi was afraid that if Xiao Yang awakened the will of many supreme beings and wrote his own plan for the eternity, I am afraid it would not be worth the loss. Below, Xiao Yang is surrounded by endless piercing divine power, lingering, flesh and blood is being reborn, divine power is returning, It seems to be reborn in some inexplicable way, but looking at such a cautious person, Xiao Yang still slightly shaking his head, it seems that his plan has been seen through by him. The power of divinity generated after the sacrifice of Nan is above all things. If it is a coincidence, it is enough to completely disintegrate the power of control in many supreme beings. At that time, the threat of Ren Yuanzi will not attack itself. It's a pity that Ren Yuanzi's cautiousness far exceeded Xiao Yang's guess. Many creatures in the Great Thousand World looked up blankly, not knowing what the reason for this scene was. The spirit of the divine artifact that exists in Paradise Lost. If it wasn't for Yuan Tian's brute tactics, how could such divine artifact be cheap, Yuan's? Facing Xiao Yang's demeanor, Ren Yuanzi chuckled softly. But it doesn't matter, as long as it completely engulfs you, this ***** can be considered to be able to return to the peak period and dominate the heavens. As soon as the sound fell, the sun between heaven and earth was eclipsed, and countless ***** storms suddenly appeared between heaven and earth, and then turned into extremely sharp blood-colored giant needles, falling from the sky like lightning. In the blood-colored giant needles, there is some kind of terrifying energy that makes the scalp numb. If it is lightly glanced by it, I am afraid that even the quasi-god level powerhouse will instantly fall. Endless god realm. Xiao Yang snorted coldly below, and countless holy flames surged around him, and then turned into a suffocating flame barrier of hundreds of thousands of meters. Crack. The giant blood-colored needle glanced at it easily, and then the endless void of the god realm that Xiao Yang had transformed was instantly torn away by it. Looking at Xiao Yang's last hope now, even when he was facing Ren Yuanzi, he was so cowardly, everyone was stunned, and let the destructive force lean over his body, the breath of death made them forget everything. With just such a random blow, Xiao Yang was defeated. This disaster seemed to have turned into an unsolvable situation. Buy me 3 minutes, please. As if he had a premonition, Xiao Yang said a word indifferently, and then there was an endless divine fire foreshadowing under his feet, and he actually walked towards the bottom of the endless fire field step by step. There is where the golden portal of Paradise Lost is located. Xiao Yang also knows that he is now between the quasi-god level and the fighting ***** level. A thing that belongs to oneself, this battle of gods has no chance of winning at all. Da Qiansheng, listen to my orders. Array. At this moment, the Holy King and Xiao Tianming looked at each other, and then their bodies were suspended in the air, and a gloomy and cold voice was transmitted to every corner of the world. Even if they know that they can't resist Ren Yuanzi with their strength, but now they can only try their best. The power of reincarnation, holy flame shines. Hearing the righteous voices of the Holy King and Xiao Tianming, in countless places in the vast world, suddenly densely packed creatures rose into the sky, roaring together, and countless reincarnation forces burst out from the body, gathered into a giant mirror of heaven and earth, and suddenly blasted away at Ren Yuanzi. Destroyed. It seemed a little scared, because Xiao Yang had just been affected by the fluctuation of divine power. Ren Yuanzi once again imposed an evil barrier on the bodies of many resurrected supremes, and then his palms slowly pointed towards countless living beings below who were not afraid of death. Kill me, slaughter this world, and let Taigu reappear in the world. Ren Yuanzi looked down at the death of those ants and smiled softly. Boom. At this moment, the peak powers of countless Great Thousand Worlds kept sacrificing their lives, intercepting those powerhouses who were trying to obliterate Xiao Yang. Because they know that this is the last hope of the Great Thousand World. The cry of the Holy Angel. The ancient holy prayers of angels emerged from the angelic army at this moment, and the pure white angelic holy brilliance blessed the powerhouses, making their overall strength rise to a whole new level again. Led by the Queen of Angels, the angelic mantra chanted by more than 5 10-winged angels in the kingdom of angels is more terrifying than the angelic mantra alone, because it is a group blessing for attack, defense, vindictive recovery. The speed and so on are all improved by nearly half. For a time, in the entire high sky, countless Dakian beings rushed towards those supreme powerhouses one after another, even if their insignificant strength was as weak as moths to flames, but they did not turn back. A will, an unyielding spirit, is igniting the world a little bit. Countless different energy halos slanted out from the body of the resurrected supreme powerhouse, and the whole world seemed to turn blood red at this moment. Can't beat it. Looking at the revived supreme army under Ren Yuanzi's command that never retreat, the Holy King and other peak powerhouses couldn't help but feel a sense of powerlessness in their hearts. The only way to do this now is to break the cauldron and sink the boat. If Xiao Yang wins, the sacrifice I've waited for will be worth it. If we lose, the big deal will be death. In the blink of an eye, the Holy King, Xiao Qianming, and other peak powerhouses rolled in their qi and blood, spewing out the blood that contained the power of heaven and earth, and immediately fought with their army completely. Boom! After a long time, in the Great Thousand Alliance army, the peak powerhouses were completely lost. Except for the 4 mistresses who needed to preside over the army, the rest of the people were almost lost. In the void, there are countless familiar breaths left, which are left by the blood of the Holy King, Xiao Qianming, Yaoji, Jinlongwang, and many other peak powerhouses. Obviously, in order to stop the resurrected supreme powerhouses, they are in the void. In the battle, he gave his life. However, with the emergence of such a death-defying move of the Great Thousand Souls, the fluctuations at the rear of Paradise Lost became more and more intense. This video will end here.